Chapter 1 Introduction to Physical Geography. Section 1.1 Introduction. The content that I'll be discussing in this course, Geography 108, is having an identity crisis. You could describe it as being part of a discipline known as physical geography, which is a subfield of geography. We can define geography as the study of natural and human constructed phenomena relative to a spatial dimension. Physical geography is also a subfield of earth science. We can define earth science as the scientific study of Earth. Not too long ago, scientists in earth science were mainly concerned with things found in the lithosphere. But things have changed. Earth science now considers the hydrosphere, the atmosphere, and the biosphere. Proof of this statement can be found at a conference that I attend yearly, put on by the American Geophysical Union. At this conference, we can find research covering all the spheres. These spheres include the atmosphere, the hydrosphere, the lithosphere, and the biosphere. Geography is a very old field of knowledge. We can find evidence of its existence in geographical studies that took place more than 4,000 years ago. These early studies focused on mapping the features and places of new lands. As early as 2300 BC, people in Babylonia were creating clay tablet maps. This image shows a clay tablet map that was dated to 1400 BC. On it we can see a whole bunch of features depicted. The early Greeks took geography a bit further. Greek academic Aristotle suggested the Earth had a spherical shape. He figured this out by examining lunar eclipses. Eratosthenes calculated the circumference of the Earth using simple geometry, and he was very accurate with his estimation. The accomplishments of the Greek civilization were passed on to the Romans. Geographical information was very useful for the Romans as they were expanding and managing the Roman Empire. Roman scholar Strabo described the geography of lands from Britain to as far east as India and south to Ethiopia and as far north as Iceland. These were the areas that the Romans were exploring. Roman scholar Ptolemy, in the 2nd century AD, developed the concepts of latitude and longitude. Here we can see an early map of the world influenced by Ptolemy. Superimposed on this map are these latitude and longitude lines. On the map we can see Ethiopia, India, and most of Europe. After the Roman period, there was little progress in geography in Europe. However, in the Middle East, Arab scholars began translating the works of Greek and Roman geographers. The Arabs explored Asia and Africa, and some of their scholars wrote about these explorations. In the 15th and 16th century, in Europe, the Renaissance occurred. The Renaissance was all about commerce and trade, and this required exploration. With exploration came data collection, scientific investigation, and discovery. Many important contributions to geographical knowledge were made because of exploration related to the Renaissance. Martin Behaim, in 1492, created the first spherical globe, the same year as Columbus made his first voyage. Here is an actual image of a Martin Behaim globe that can be seen at a museum in Europe. Bernardus Varianus published Geographia Generalis in 1650. This publication was a standard geographic reference for about 100 years. Varianus suggested geography has subdisciplines, the physical geography and human geography. During the 18th century, German philosopher Immanuel Kant also suggested geography consisted of several subdisciplines. These disciplines were theological, mathematical, moral, political, commercial, and physical. Let's now look at some of the developments from 1800 to 1950 in geography. Early in this period, geographical knowledge saw strong growth in Europe and the United States. Many people were interested in geographical things. This is evident by the formation of geographical societies in many nations. France, 1821, Germany, 1828, Britain, 1830, and the USA in 1852. Two important academics that influenced geography were James Hutton and Charles Lyell. They were geologists, and they came up with the concept of uniformitarianism. In the 1780s, James Hutton presented at several scientific meetings that the Earth had a long past, that it was many, many thousands of years old, maybe even millions of years old. James Hutton suggested that the Earth's landscape developed over long periods of time due to natural processes currently operating. The publication of Charles Lyell's book, Principles of Geology, presented even more evidence to suggest that Hutton's idea of uniformitarianism was correct. The theory of uniformitarianism spilled over into other disciplines. For example, Charles Darwin's theory of evolution, which was published in 1859, has a relationship to this idea. Charles Darwin suggested that species evolved over long periods of time. Another important scientist during this time period was Louis Agassiz. He also suggested quite a controversial idea. He suggested that much of the Earth's surface was covered by a thick layer of ice, that the Earth had experienced ice ages. Evidence for this idea came from erosional features and depositional features found across Europe and the United States. Russian scientist Dukachev described how soils form. German scientist Alexander von Humboldt published Cosmos in 1844 after extensive exploration of the Earth. This book is essentially a geology and physical geography of the Earth. In 1864, George Perkins Marsh published the book Man and Nature. In this book, he documents the environmental degradation that was taking place across the United States as populations grew and people moved west. Three other important contributions to physical geography near the end of this period include Vladimir Köppen and his work on climate classification, the development of a theory of plant succession by Frederick Clements and Henry Coles, and William Davis and G.K. Gilbert developed theories to explain why different landscapes occur on the Earth's surface. Let's now look at important developments after 1950. The most important thing occurring during this period is the quantitative revolution. We were using quantitative methods and a scientific approach to figure out how the universe works. This quantitative revolution involved deductive reasoning, hypothesis testing, statistics, model building, and experiments. Scientists were using systems theory to model nature. And a new type of thinking starts taking place in scientists. Instead of thinking about how the big picture works, scientists were focusing on how things work at a small scale, reductionist thinking. In 1964, William Pattison publishes an article in the Journal of Geography that suggests that modern geography is composed of 4 themes. The first theme is called the spatial tradition. In this theme, geographers study phenomena from a strictly spatial perspective. So, for example, where do hurricanes occur? Well, we know that hurricanes occur in the subtropics. The second tradition was called the human land tradition. Here, geographers study how humans interact with the environment from a geographical perspective. The third theme is called the area studies tradition. Here, geographers study a specific area of the Earth, either at the local, regional, or global scale. So you could have an academic geographer who is an expert on Japan, or someone who knows everything about the city of New York. The final theme in geography was the earth science tradition. This is the study of natural phenomena from a spatial perspective. Essentially, this is theoretical physical geography, something that we're going to study in this course. So, what are some of the important things going on in geography and physical geography in the 21st century? The most important thing is big data analysis. Advanced technologies are being used to collect data and to analyze data. Of course, this requires powerful computers. The problem of environmental degradation that was first recognized by George Perkins Marsh hasn't been fixed. Environmental degradation is still a serious problem on our planet. And it's increasing and becoming more global in scale. This is due to population growth and affluence. Solutions are needed, and these solutions are important things that geographers do. Okay, it's time now to sum up some of the stuff that we've learned. And I think it's obvious that 2 types of geography exist: physical geography and human geography. Both of these subject areas are taught at UBC. We should try to figure out how do these subfields differ. And one way that I can sort of explain this to you is by showing you the type of phenomena that is studied in physical geography and in human geography. Some of the phenomena studied by physical geographers includes rocks and minerals, landforms, soils, animals, plants, water, the atmosphere, rivers and other water bodies, the environment, climate and weather, and oceans. Human geographers study such things as human populations, settlements, economic activities, transportation, recreational activities, religion, political systems, social traditions, human migration, agricultural systems, and urban systems. Now, geography is an interesting subject area because it is very holistic in the way it approaches understanding. And geography integrates a wide variety of subject matter. The holistic nature of geography is both a strength and weakness. So here, this graphic tries to visualize the holistic synthesis that occurs in geography. The purple It represents some of the major fields of physical geography. The pink-orange circle represents some of the major fields of human geography, and all of these subdisciplines are combined to get a sort of holistic synthesis of what's going on in the world.